So good morning, good afternoon, and maybe good evening to some of you folks. My name is Ayan, a developer advocate from Atlassian, and I will be your moderator for today's DevDen. A quick recap. Last week, a little over 100 community members joined us as we talked about testing strategies for your Forge apps. So if you missed that, you can check out the recording in the link that I will paste in the chat box right about now. There you go. So moving on to today's agenda, we have 4 awesome teams from the University of New South Wales with us, and they are going to present their Forge-powered apps. Prior to doing their respective projects, most, if not all of them, have zero knowledge on Forge, and now they're willing to share what they've accomplished. So in roughly 8 weeks, the teams, together with the guidance of their respective Atlassian mentors, I believe the proud mentors are here with us today. Can maybe show of hands? Some of those proud mentors are here with us today to support their respective teams. So hello. So these 4 teams were able to integrate their apps to...
Dann müsste der einen Tag wieder verschwinden.
Oopsie. Yep, I'm just gonna mute that one. So these 4 teams were able to integrate their apps to external LLMs, process audio files, call a bunch of product APIs, use Forge storage, and even migrated to the latest storage offering. And some were even able to do cross-product calls between Jira and Confluence. So needless to say, the students have been quite busy and accomplished a lot of things. So with that, let's give them a round of virtual applause, I guess, to the team's achievements. So there's a react button in there. Yep, there you go. So if there are any Forge beginners in attendance here today, maybe you can also pick up some useful tips from our presenters' experience on how to quickly ramp up on Forge. So for today, each team will have roughly 12 minutes to present, and we'll have time to accommodate perhaps 2 to 3 questions for each team at the end of their respective presentations. So we have 55 minutes to go through the 4 teams, so the timing is a bit tight. But before I hand over the spotlight to our presenters, as always, let's go through over some of the house rules. So first, unless you're asking or answering questions, please keep your microphones on mute in order to minimize unintentional background noises during the presentations. Second, if you have questions, please type them in the Q&A widget of Zoom. So there should be a Q&A button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. You can type your questions in there. So when raising questions, please add which team you are addressing the question to so we can easily direct them to the intended team. Okay, we'll take note of these questions and try to raise them after each presenting team, if time permits. Lastly, this session will be recorded and will be shared in the Atlassian Developers YouTube channel no later than next week. So with that, I'll pass the spotlight to our first team who will talk about their app. So take it away, Anirudh and team.
Yep. Thank you, Ayan. Yep, are you able to see my screen?
Yep, we can see it.
Yep, over to you, Fang. We can get started.
Yeah, cool. Hi, everyone. My name is Yufan, and today our group of super excited to present our latest version of the Autoblogger. So Autoblogger is the advanced AI tool for turning your thoughts into blog effortlessly, and is specifically built for Atlassian Confluence. So let me tell you more about it. So Autoblogger is an integrated Atlassian Confluence app built with Forge custom UI and assisting users in creating professional blogs using just a few simple audio codes. We've all been through the pain of writing a long article before, right? We've kind of gone through a lot of steps. So in the traditional way, it often starts with brainstorm ideas, organizing scattered thoughts into a clear structure, and drafting paragraphs with the right tone and flow, and then you have to revise multiple times to get a final result. So for many people, especially those who are busy or not confident in writing, this could be a really big barrier to sharing their thoughts and insights, right? So, and we've done some research of the limitations of the existing systems. So these two are the really popular platforms out there in the market, but those platforms does not offer summarize feature, or they are unable to generate a blog automatically, and also it does not integrate with Confluence. So how exactly our app can do to revolutionize the process of writing a blog? Let's have Xuedong to tell you more about it.
Hi everyone, I'm Xuedong. I will talk about why our app is unique. Many blogging tools still require users to manually type, format, and publish content, which is slow and inconvenient, especially for people who think fast and want to share ideas instantly. Our product changes that. With just your voice, you can create a full blog, including text formatting and even an audio version all in one go. Now, let me explain how our system works. This is our system architecture diagram. Here's how it works. First, user can record their voice in the front end, and the audio is sent to the back end, where we use OpenAI API to convert for speech to text, and the Google Gemini to generate the blog content, and Amazon Polly to convert the blog into audio. The final blog is formatted and saved in the cloud using Forge storage and integrated with Atlassian Confluence for easy sharing. On the home page, users can manage their blogs, view, edit, delete, filter, or listen to them, all through our blog list module. In short, this is a fully automated pipeline from voice to shareable content, all in one click. Next, my team member Yunshu will show you our app.
Hi everyone, I will show you the recording and transcription features of Autoblogger designed to help you quickly generate blog drafts through audio. Let's start with the recording section. Our app supports two input method, real-time recording and file upload. First, let me show you the real-time recording features. Just click the button and start speaking Chinese traditional history. After recording, you can use the audio player. It supports playback, adjustment, and download. Let's move on to file upload. Autoblogger supports multiple languages, so you can upload audio in your native language. For example, I will upload a Chinese audio here. After the upload is successful, the player becomes active just like before.
中国历史
This is the transcription section. Click transcribe, and the system will automatically convert your audio into text. Our service detects language automatically and produce accurate result, whether it's English, Chinese, or other supported language. So you can see here, the Chinese audio has been transcribed. If you want to make some change, click Edit, Detail, and then Save or Cancel. I will choose Cancel here. If you are not satisfied with the content, you can click the Re-Record and Retranscribe buttons. If you are satisfied with everything, and you can also go back or return to the home page using the button in the handlebar. Finally, click Start Blogging to move to the blog generation page. The next speaker, Hao Chen, will explain this page.
Oh, hi everyone. So after the generation of transcription, we can move on to the customized blog section, where you can choose your blog options, including the blog language and the blog size. And after you click the confirm, you can go to the blog generation section. Where the blog generation section can receive the blog options from the customized blog section via prompts, and these options are used to configure the generation logic for both text and audio blogs. And the drop-down menu, as you can see, can update the selected option state, which determines whether a text block generator or audio block generator is rendered. And so for the generation of the text block, we use the Google Gemini, and we just use the transcriptions and the block options we received as the parameters, and we also use Google Gemini to summarize the generated block content and put the summary there, and we also have the mechanism that disable the saving block unless you press the create conference page button. And after you click the button, you can move on to the conference page. Yeah, that's how it looks like, and then we can move on to the audio block generation, and so we use the same process here for the text. We use the Google Gemini as well to create the text, and we pass on the text to the Amazon Poly to convert it to the base64 encoded MP3 audio. And we do have the playback button here, and then when you click it, you can hear it.
Diving into the depths of Chinese history. 2 simple characters that unlock.
Yeah, that's how it looks like, and yeah, that's it for my part, and Annie will take over from here.
Yep. So after our blog has been generated, now we can move back to our homepage. So there's going to be the homepage of the app. So this is what will greet you when you go to the app. So as you can see, the blog that we've just generated will be visible at the bottom in the all blogs tray. So all the blogs that you generate will be visible here. And each blog that's generated will come under this feature. So it'll have a tag at the top, depending on what kind of a blog it is. It'll either be an audio tag or a text tag. And you also have a rename option where you can rename the title for your blog. And you also have a keyword section that we've implemented using a keyword extractor. So this gives you 3 simple keywords from your blog, so you can get a good gist of the blog before going into it. And you also have an option to favorite certain blogs. So when you click favorite, it moves the blog from the all blogs tray to the my favorites tray. So all your favorited blogs will be visible here in the my favorites tray. You can also remove it, and this will push it back to the all blogs tray. And you also have an option to delete blogs that you've just created. So you can just go ahead and click delete, and it will remove the blog for you. And depending on whether if it's a text blog or an audio blog, you also have an option to view blog or listen blog directly from the home page. So you can just right click on view blog, and this will open the Confluence page for you where the blog will be visible. And for filtering the blogs out, we have 2 different functionalities. So one would be the search bar, where you can search for the blogs that you want to, as you can see. And you can also filter by tags. So if you want to just filter out text blogs, you can click the text tag. This will filter out just text blogs. And if you want just audio blogs, you can click on the audio tag, and this will filter out just the audio tag. And obviously, all will show you all the blogs available. And one other functionality that we have implemented are folder storages. So you can create a new folder by clicking the new folder button, and you can give a name for your folder. Let's just say test 1, 2, 3. And you can add whatever blogs you've created into this folder by doing this. And you can also go ahead and remove these blogs if you want to by doing so. And once you have added all the blogs that you want to into your folder, you can click create folder, and this will create the folder for you. Now, if we go back to our homepage, we can see that the new folder that we just created is visible here. And we can also directly open the blogs from the folder by doing so. As you can see, it opens it on Confluence page. And you can also go ahead and delete folders by just clicking delete. And you can also rename the folder title by doing so. Now I'll pass on the mic to Wenshin, and she'll talk about an interesting aspect of working with Atlassian Forge apps.
Hi everyone, I'm Wenshin. For this project, what we really like about Forge is that everything runs serverless. We don't need to set up any backend service or databases. We just import what we need, like Forge API or Forge Resolver, and we can start building features right away. For storing data like blogs and audio files, we used Forge storage APIs. We are using both storage and caves to store things like blog content, favorite statums, and even audio blobs. These methods are super simple just get and set, and they are all async. We also integrated OpenAI's Whisper API to handle audio transcription. So when a user uploads an audio blog, the app sends it to the Whisper, gets back and transcribes text, and then we can display or store that on the page. The whole project really shows how easy it is to build smart, scalable apps with Forge. We didn't need to worry about backend setup or deployment. Forge handled all of that. And thanks to the platform, we could focus entirely on creating features that deliver value to users. And finally, thanks everyone listening.
Thanks, team. Yep, that is a really nice presentation. And like, can't imagine you did that in less than 8 weeks, give or take. So
Yep.
kudos
Thank
to you. So I guess let's open the floor for some quick Q&A. Ajay,
Yeah, I
I
have a
believe you do
question.
have some question for your
I
team.
do, yeah. Yeah. By the way, love the app, really useful and very well designed. So I had a question regarding the folders structure you showed on the homepage of your app where the blogs were added to it. So I had a question that what kind of data structure you went with that, and how did you store that in storage and link the blogs in it?
Yeah, thanks for the question. I think I'm gonna answer the question. Let me just quick share my screen to give you a clear view. Yes. So in Spring 1 and Spring 2, we don't really have the function as the create a new folder, which means we only have one object called the new blog, which is for store all the blog information. For instance, the blog title, content, and keywords, and time, etc. And in Spring 3, we do want to implement the create folder function, which means we have to have another object, which is for storing all the folder information. So in here, we have the folder title, content, length, etc. And in the create folder page, when our users select all the blogs they want to store in the folder, there's going to be a array called selected blogs, which is for storing all the blogs that are selected by the user. And this is going to be a value to store in the new folder object, which means we can be used to display all the blogs in the folder. So in order to store all the folders and blocks into one database, we're gonna have another key called object type, which is for distinguishing the folder and the block. And so in the new folder object, the object type is folder, and in the new blog object, the object type is blog, obviously. So this is pretty helpful when we are trying to display all the blogs and folders in the homepage. So in the homepage, we just need to have two arrays. One array is for the blogs, and the other array is for the folders, which can be easily displayed by the homepage. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Thanks. Thanks for answering.
Yep. So again, thank you, team number 1. Round of applause. Now let's go to team number 2, Daniel.
Okay, let me share my screen real quick. Ooh. All right, cool. Can you see my screen okay?
Yep, looks good.
All right. Hello, everybody. So our team actually worked on a non-AI app, it was a traditional app, and we were basically making a Confluence note taker. So the idea here is that existing note-taking solutions, such as say Obsidian, or making a separate Confluence page for each note that you're trying to take, isn't really integrated directly into the viewing experience of a Confluence page. So say I'm working on a documentation, I'm reading a large amount of documentation, I need to sort of keep track of it and try and summarize it as I go. Existing solutions aren't actually integrated into the page itself. And also you'll find that if we try and collaborate, there isn't really a nice, easy solution for note-taking where you can share to other people based on their Atlassian account. So our sort of solution is centered around a in-page note editor. And the idea is that as you're reading through a page, you can open up the editor and make some notes, which I'll demo shortly. And sort of building on top of that, to make this a sort of full experience, we added a management interface, which is full screen, a dedicated full screen viewer and editor, note version control, recycling functionality, sharing and access control, as well as administrative controls, so you can make sure that bad content doesn't stay up there. All right, so let's jump straight into the demo then. So the idea with this demo is that I am currently a student in a classroom, and there's a couple of informational pages about what race conditions and concurrency are. So you'll notice here that I have an example page, and I can open my note viewer using a macro, not a macro, sorry, a context menu. You can also trigger it with Control Q. And the idea is that it opens up a little note editor where I can put in some content. So like, I'm super excited for this course. Now, you've also got some markdown editing features. So you can select some text and let's say italicize this, let's bold this, and you can preview it as a rendered markdown sort of part. Great. And so I've already populated some of the other pages with notes. So for example, let's look at this page. I've already got some notes here. And so if we go to the main page here, you'll find a list of the notes this user has. Okay, so we can actually access the notes from this page, and you'll see that they are actually rendered in Markdown. So for example, here I have rendering. You have the choice to edit it in a full page UI. It's basically the same as in page one. You can preview it as well. And the main thing with this page is that you've got some options. So you can, for example, select two notes and you can group them. So that'll put them into a group for organization. From here, I can name the group whatever I want. So for example, my notes. And of course, I have the option to remove them from the group. So I can bring them back to the main page. We've also got some options for organizations. So we can order by various categories. And we've also got a filter screen where you can filter based on various parameters. So for example, note title, I could do 2087. And this will filter only the note that has 2087 in it, in the title. Cool. Next up, we've got recycling. So of course, you don't want to have notes forever. Let's try recycling some selection. And it'll give you a sort of confirmation modal. From there, you can go to the recycle bin. And you have a couple of options. You can either delete it permanently, restore it. You can do batch operations. Or if you don't do anything with it for 30 days, it will automatically be deleted. So let's restore it from now and sort of tackle the collaboration. So I've got two users here. And they have completely separate notes. So you'll see none of their notes are shared. What I can do, though, is I have the option to share notes. So you'll see I have a note ID here. And if I try and open it on the other user, I cannot open it because there's no permissions. Now, if I change permissions to be a read permission, I can now open it as the second user, but I cannot edit the note. What I can also do is add individual users collaborators. So I have Daniel, and I'll add him as a write collaborator. Now, if I open the note, I now have edit permissions on the page. And refreshing the page, you'll see that the note as an individual collaborator actually gets shown on my page. Cool. We also have admin controls. So you'll see here that the difference between these two main pages is that one of them has a admin button, the other one doesn't. And the idea here is that if I access another user's page through the admin view, I have full access to all of their notes, so I can edit no matter what. I can also delete notes, and this will bypass the recycling system. So let's delete this one. And the idea here is that if you're an admin deleting a note, ideally you don't want the other user to be able to restore it. Cool. Our last feature is going to be our viewport. So let's go ahead into this note right here. And you can click this button to go to the associated Confluence page. So it's a one-to-one relationship. You'll see here that in this page, I can actually see all my notes here. And the idea here is that if I have a sort of classroom environment or some other environment, I want to be able to make it so that people can view their own notes within the page itself. So to actually trigger this, what you can do, you use a macro. So we'll have notes, wait for this to load, and basically anyone viewing this page will see their own version of their notes on that page. Cool. So then that's the main functionality for our app, and let's move into sort of how we built it. The main idea is that we sort of built everything in Forge. So again, our app isn't an AI app. It's actually just a traditional app. And so we decided to make everything within Forge. There's no data egress or anything, which actually means that we are eligible for the, I believe it's called Runs on Atlassian program. To actually build the front end, we use UIKit 2. And the question is like, okay, with UIKit 2, it's great, but like sometimes you need more fine-tuned control. And so in those cases, we embedded a frame, and that lets us sort of put our own custom React code within UIKit. Great. One interesting feature is that we had Markdown rendering. So you could put in raw Markdown and it would actually render on the page. The idea here is we use a couple of libraries that you can see on, in this sort of diagram on the right side. And the idea is that we're turning the Markdown into a prose mirror ADF format. Then that gets turned into JSON ADF, and then that can go directly into the ADF renderer component, which will actually show our Markdown all pretty with all the formatting. Cool. So in terms of data storage itself, we're using Forge's custom entity store. And the idea here was that we wanted sort of no data egress. It also installs with our app, so whenever we install to a new site, it's a separate database. And mainly the reason we used it over like a key value store is because of the index support. So that'll give us some nicer lookups. And also the type safety, which just makes development a lot easier. Midway through, so our initial API was the storage API, and we migrated midway through to the KVS API, which is the new API and should support new features moving forward, and also be more performant. In terms of the actual database schema, it's a bit messy, but you'll notice that these red fields are sort of crossed out. Those are just deprecated fields, so you can ignore them. The arrows indicate sort of foreign key relationships. And one thing I did want to note is that you can see we're using an array here. If I had the chance to go back, I would have probably done a more entity relationship model rather than an array, just because sometimes this can cause issues with concurrency. So some overall thoughts on development in Forge. UIKit's pretty nice because even for someone like me who had no prior front-end experience, it's pretty easy to develop a sort of nicely integrated, non-jarring front end. Frame components were really crucial because we didn't want to go full custom UI, but we did want to have some more fine control over certain components of our app. So this sort of let us embed sort of sandboxed custom UI. We're also super hyped about transactions in general. So there is the transactions API, and this is currently in early access, but we look forward to it becoming preview instead. And the idea here is that it gives us more fine control, because one of the main pain points in our project was trying to figure out how to have good concurrency control, avoid race conditions, that kind of stuff. So we really look forward to transactions sort of leaving EAP and potentially becoming more sort of fleshed out in terms of features. Cool, that's the main presentation. Any questions?
Wow. Thanks, Daniel. That was a really nice presentation. And as you go through the slides and demoing the app, at the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what type of modules or what APIs have you been using? So I guess I'm going to go with my first question. So when we did the dry run, you did mention that you were a first-time Forge app builder. But
Yeah.
can you share a bit on your journey from 0 to 1? I mean, what was the experience like? I mean, you've used a lot of APIs already.
So I guess the idea here was that we all started off with this tutorial. So there's a introduction to Forge. And essentially we followed the introduction to Forge, sort of set up the CLI tool, and then we built this Confluence Hello World app. And then when we actually started working on our project, it was really just, I believe there's already an existing template for a context menu application. So I sort of built off that. I kind of pulled an all-nighter. And then during our first sprint, essentially, we would do a lot of pair programming. So that sort of let us all get up to speed. And then by the time we started working on our project, sort of 2 or 3 weeks in, it was relatively straightforward. So yeah, I'd say at the very beginning, it's a bit daunting, but it's actually not that bad once you get into it.
Wow, thanks. Any other questions from the crowd? From any of the attendees? If not, I still have another question. Okay, yeah, in one of your slides, I'm just gonna go for it. In one of your slides, I saw that you mentioned the use of KVS package. I mean,
Yes.
I've been talking with a lot of developers and partners as well, and not everyone have used KVS as of yet. So how did you learn about the KVS when we launched it, and how
Yeah.
easy was the migration for you?
Yeah, so the actual how I learned sort of it was really just the documentation page. So I woke up one day, I went to the documentation page I was aware of, and I suddenly saw, oh, this isn't right. Why does it say KVS here? There's a new legacy page as well. So I realized from that, like, okay, we're using the legacy package. It's probably best for us to migrate to KVS. And all of the documentation is very similar. So I thought like, okay, it should be mostly just like a plug and play change. In terms of the actual migration, I can show you the pull request actually. Initially, we had some issues because I believe KVS used to be bugged where non-string indexes wouldn't quite work. But once those were fixed, it was a super easy fix. I'll just show you. If we go to our ORM, essentially all we had to do was before we had the storage import, all we had to do was find and replace storage with KVS, and then find and replace the sort order with this sort. And that was really it. There was no sort of breaking changes. It was just find and replace.
Oh, wow. Thanks. That's really good feedback. I'm gonna let the storage team know about your very successful journey. So kudos to you. Yep, we're still good with time. I'll hand over the microphone to team number 3. I believe it's Liam and team. Yep. Hi, Liam.
Right, can you try and see my screen?
Yep, all good.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Our app is called Celery Transcriber. It's a simple speech-to-text transcriber for Confluence, which was built in Atlassian Forge. So to start off, we've identified one main problem. Nowadays, there's many professionals in the workforce, and they work within tight schedules and fast-paced environments. And hence, anytime they have verbal communications, valuable insights can be lost due to limited time to convert those spoken thoughts into nicely written documents. So from this problem, there's 3 main pain points we've discovered. There's valuable time lost manually transcribing, there's delay in capturing and publishing that information, which in turn can actually hinder collaboration for everyone. And lastly, quality can also decrease, leading to decreased usability for all teammates. With this in mind, we've decided to come up with a solution to this. Our solution is the Celery Transcriber app. So for our app, we have 2 main features. There's 2 components. There's a Confluence global page app, which we built using the custom UI kit from Forge. And there's the Confluence macros, which was built using the UI kit 2. So under these 2 distinct components, we have a speech-to-text transcription service, which allows the user to live transcribe the audio as well as upload pre-recorded ones. We have a task assigner, which actually directly integrates with Jira itself, enabling users to create and assign tasks straight from any transcripts. And lastly, we have a file storage for any users who wants to view or download their previous transcripts. With that, let's get straight to the demo. We'll start over firstly with our global page. So this is our global page landing page. We have simple on the sidebar here, home, files, task, sign, settings. I'll start off looking at the record function. So a user can basically start recording, and then in this mode below, it will basically start live transcribing anything you have. We can stop the recording here. After we stop the recording, a user can simply edit their transcript below if they want to. But for demonstration purposes right now, we're going to input a transcript we have prepared beforehand. So let's say you are an individual working at a company and you just finished a meeting and you want to try to summarize this. So we have the ability to summarize it. This is the text we're going to summarize. And then we have a couple of options here. We have our summarization length type. We have note-taking maybe. Let's choose that one. We can choose our length, defaults medium, generate questions. This questions is anything it will generate questions for any users who wants to really see if they can understand and solidify the content from the meeting. We have the language output in English. We'll talk about that later a bit more. And output type, maybe a blog or page, as well as the save location. This is dependent on the user's spaces. So let's choose maybe the final new space and let's submit it for summarizing. This sends it to a backend next with the Gemini API to summarize it. We've summarized it here. We can go to our spaces. I was in the final new space. Have a look at the blogs. It was a blog, and we have a project plan update next. As you can see, less than a minute ago, this was created. It gives you a quick summary under the points with everything we need to do, and it also gives you the original transcript below. Furthermore, we also have the ability to change languages. So I think this is a really important feature for a lot of companies, especially companies that are international. They will interact a lot of the time with people overseas. So having the ability to change your input language will be helpful. And then if we record some audio, yep, we can give another transcript. We can also, like I was saying earlier, maybe we can summarize this one, change the language output. So basically, maybe we're working with a client that's overseas. They speak Mandarin, that's their default language. Having the ability to output the language in Mandarin will definitely be very helpful. Let's save it in the same space, maybe file menu space, and let's see this one, execute. So this is also set to backend as well for summarizing. After that, we go to the same one. Let's reload this the same space. And down here, as you can see on the side here, this one, brand new one on top. This is basically what's happened here. So this is another meeting transcript, and it basically transcribes it into the language which is suitable for them, especially if you're working in global companies. This will be really helpful. I will now pass over to Cameron, who will talk about upload feature and files.
Yep. Okay. So for the upload part, we can also upload a audio file. For example, this audio file. And pretty much same as the recording, you can just save and submit it for AI optimization. Yep. Oh, hold on. Yep. And we can manage these files under here in the Files tab. We're able to sort them by ascending dates and descending dates. You can also filter it by a specific date, for example, on the 20th of May or 21st of May today. And then on a day where there's no transcripts, it will show up as no transcriptions. And you can also clear it, which will display all the files again. You can also view them in a different, view them in their Confluence page, respective Confluence page, as well as view them here under a modal, and you're also able to download them and also delete them. Yep. And I'll now pass over to Rio, who will be talking about the task assigner.
Yep, so another notable feature that we've implemented in our app is the task assigner. Essentially, it takes a transcript and it extracts keywords such as names and task descriptions, and it generates a list of tasks that are assigned to each person. So what we're going to do here is we're going to click Add Transcript and paste in our sample meeting transcript here. We're going to click Add, and this will show us a preview of our transcript. And then here we can list the names of the members that we want to assign tasks to. So we're just going to go ahead and add them here. And once we click submit, we should see a preview of the list of tasks that have been assigned to each member. And so in addition to generating a list of, sorry, I'm just going to redo that. And so in addition to generating a list of tasks inside a Confluence page, users are also given the option to create issues on Jira based on these assigned tasks. So as you can see here, we've got the names and the associated user stories, the descriptions of, and the acceptance criteria. And so what we can do is we click this Jira button here, and we're given the option to select projects. So these are projects that the currently logged in user has admin permissions for. And so we're going to select this test project one here and click submit. And once that goes through, we can go here to Jira, and we can see that the user stories have in fact been created inside Jira for each respective member. And so the way this works behind the scenes is that we fetch the list of team members from the selected Jira project, and we match them up with the names that have been inputted by the user. And then we can automatically assign Jira issues to the relevant team members. And now I'm going to pass over to Suzanne to demonstrate our macros.
Yeah, so our macro is just a simplified version of our app. So to get the macro up, you first just need to create a new page through this button over here, and then just give it a title. And to get the macro up, you just do / recording for audio transcriber, and we'll just test the file upload right now, which you just click this button where it says add image video file, and then upload an audio transcription. You gotta make sure you publish this page, otherwise it won't work. And you click the MP3 file, and it'll just send this to the backend for our OpenAI model to process. And then similar to the global page, it'll come off the transcription, and then you can submit for AI optimization. And for the macro, we have less features just to encourage users to use our global page more as well, and just for more efficiency for the macro. And for this, we'll just click summarize, and again, it will generate the summary by passing it back to the backend. And then once you refresh the page, we've got the summary here and the original transcript. And I'll just demo the recording as well. So again, you just need a title, get the macro up the same way, and anytime you use this macro, you always have to publish the page, otherwise the page won't update properly. And so users just click this button, and again, a live transcription will show, similar to the global page. And then you can just click end recording when you ever you want to stop the recording, and the same button will appear. And you can also edit the transcript in case there's like inaccuracies when the user speaks and the app fails to like pick up certain words. And you can also just reset it here. And so now I'm going to pass it back to Ryotaro to share our macro task assigner.
Yep, so this is our final macro. It is just a lightweight version of the task assigner in our global page. So same idea here again. We're just going to paste in a sample transcript, add in the names of our members, and click add here. And then once we click submit, we should see a list of tasks assigned to each member. Yep, there we go. So we have the names, and again, the user story descriptions and the acceptance criteria. all integrated within the current Confluence page. And so this just provides a very lightweight version of our task assigner. We don't provide Jira integration with the macro. So the global page would be more useful for anyone who's maybe in a managerial position that wants to quickly delegate tasks without manually assigning tasks on Jira. Whereas this is more of an informal documentation of tasks. And so that's all for this macro. And I think that's all from us for today. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, team number 3. Actually, Cameron, I was waiting for you to play that sample audio clip. To this day, I'm really having a hard time pronouncing that bread that starts with the letter C. So, but kidding aside, I must say, in previous DevDens, we talk about the innovations and features of Forge. And today, it is great to see these APIs and features being used to solve real-world scenarios. So, well done, everyone. I'll open the floor. I think we have time for one question. Any questions from the attendees? No? Okay. I do have one question. I like the in your task assigner demo, I noticed that you were able to connect Confluence and Jira. Yep, this is a typical scenario whenever I do in-person workshops. My attendees are really keen to know how to do cross-product. So how did you do it? Or how hard or easy was it?
Yeah, so we also recognize how important project management is, and being able to go from a Confluence blog, which transcribes audio, for meetings, connecting it to Jira, we also found that really important. To start off, it was quite difficult. However, the main thing we did was basically on the front end, it has the ability to connect to the back end, which fetches firstly the members on an existing Jira project. Obviously, we grab all the Jira projects connected to the user. And then we just create a dictionary with all the names and the UUIDs on the Confluence for Jira. And after all the to-dos are summarized, so as we saw earlier, we had all the user stories, description, and acceptance criteria on the page. We basically send that to the backend, and then we utilize Jira's REST API to add the user story to with the description based on whoever the user is, fetched from before. If it simply doesn't exist, then we don't add it to the user story to that project. And that's basically how we integrate that together.
Well done. Yeah. Good job, team. So last but not least, let's go to team number 4.
Sure. Let me just quickly share my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah.
Hello. Hello, everyone. Okay, let me know if you can see this. And I'll probably just turn on my camera because it's like overseas right now, so it's lagging quite a bit.
Yep, we can see it. All good.
Yep. Awesome. All right. Yep. Can you see the slide as well?
Yep. All good.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Hi, everyone again. I will be presenting on behalf of my group today. We are Dragon Fruit within the Comp 3900 computer science project course from last time. So in my team, we had Tyler, who was basically our lead developer. He worked on back end and front end. And there was me. I was the product owner. I worked on a little bit of front end and some back end as well. And Olivia was our scrum master. She worked on front end. And Sam worked on mainly back end and some front end. And we had Bella as well, who designed our entire product and worked on the front end. So we're excited to present Voice Memo today, which is our project, a Forge application designed to streamline Confluence documentation through voice and AI technology. All right, so now imagine you are in a critical brainstorming session or an important meeting. The discussion is flowing, ideas are bouncing around, but there's one problem. Someone has to manually take notes. Typing everything down slow and valuable insights can be lost during the process. So this is a pain point for users who rely on Confluence for meeting minutes and brainstorming. Manual note-taking slows down discussions. reduces engagement and can result in disorganized documentation. So our app, Voice Memo, solves this by transforming spoken content into structured documentation effortlessly. Now let's move on to a demo of our app when it stops lagging. Okay, it's like not switching tabs. No, it's so slow. Apologies, bear with me.
Yep, no worries. That happens in real life.
Oh,
I've
thank you.
encountered while doing live demos. Yeah, it's Murphy's Law. So don't worry.
Thank you. But I actually can't switch my tabs for some reason. I'll just quickly reshare my screen if that's okay.
Sure.
Thank you. All right, let me know if you can see this.
Yep, not good. You can see it.
Cool. All right, let's get restarted, I guess. Okay, so let's imagine that Lashani, who was actually our mentor, just finished a crucial retro meeting and needs to document the key decisions and action items. Now, Lashani has two options for capturing audio here, either recording directly or uploading an existing file. So yeah, let's first see how Lashani can record directly within our app. So for the transcription service to work, she needs to first configure her own OpenAI API key in the settings. If this isn't set up, then the app will provide a clear error message guiding her. However, for this demo, our API key has already been set up. All right, so you just click this button, or she just clicks this button. Okay, now we'll start recording. So during the sprint, we discussed about data types, specifically integers are string. Each string has 10 bytes. Let's just say that. And for our next sprint, we'll need to review our discussion. Okay, that was not meant to happen. Okay. Cool. All right, now alternatively, Lashani might have a pre-recorded recording from another platform. So Voice Memo supports a vast number of audio formats, including common ones like WAV and MP3. So let's see how she can just upload this. And just process the audio. Okay, amazing. So that worked pretty fast. And let's see how Lashani can now review and refine the transcription. So here, she can review and edit the transcription while simultaneously listening to the audio. So our player has standard pause and resume controls, plus these handy 10-second jump buttons, so that she can traverse back and forth through the audio effortlessly.
Programmers and mathlete discovered Kubernetes, but this AI monstrosity.
Cool. Yeah, and Lashani can also just make corrections here. And these changes are automatically saved. She can also just quickly copy the entire transcription wherever she likes and just let's say, paste it here. Oh, yep, as you can see, that worked. Lag a little bit. Apologies. Okay. Okay, now let's go back to actually our previous, let's just edit this transcription to actually include the content of our previous, what she had previously dictated during the screen. All right, and now to actually generate the documentation. First of all, Lashani needs to configure the page. and she can just like customize the title here. And now she will need to select a space. So our app fetches all the spaces that Lashani has access to. Well, this is my account, so it'll fetch my spaces, including both the global spaces as well as her personal spaces. So now suppose like Lashani had previously been using some templates in Confluence and has been using like a specific retro meeting template, and she wonders if she can use it here as well. And spoiler alert, the answer is yes. The retro meeting template. And Lashani can preview how it looks before generating her page. Also toggle on and off to hide it. There are also like here more of like her other templates that she had been using before. Our app also fetches these. Oh. Okay, but first, Lashani wants to try creating a page without a template. So we'll just select none. And Lashani can also enable two powerful AI features, LLM generated content suggestions, which provide additional insights based on the meeting content, and also LLM fact checking to evaluate factual claims that are made during the meeting. And Lashani is also empowered to provide specific instructions as to how she wants the documentation to be structured. For example, maybe she wants the AI to like highlight all items. Language. And now we will just generate the page. All right, for time purposes, we actually pre-generated a page. So this is what it would look like. Okay, so yeah, let's just review the result with Lashani. So notice how the AI has structured the content into logical sections with, oh, okay, I actually generated the page. Okay, it should be exactly the same. Oh, okay, yep, so we've got a clear meeting summary heading at the top with key points extracted from this discussion, action items presented in a table format, and discussion highlights organized by topic, and also the original transcription preserved at the bottom for reference. And now with fact checking enabled, statements from the meeting are verified with appropriate indicators. And with content suggestion enabled, we also get additional insights that might not have been explicitly stated. Cool. Okay, all right, and let's see. And this is what it'll actually look like if she selected like the retro meeting template. So we actually just pre-generated a page for that as well. So see how it just like embeds all of the basically like the meeting content into the template. And this is, yep. So toggling like the LLM options also works here as well. So now that Voice Memo has created a structured Confluence page for Lashani, using the retro meeting template, she can now just easily share this comprehensive documentation with her teammates. And this completes the Voice Memo workflow. And you might be wondering how all of this technology is working underneath the hood. So I'll just quickly take you guys over the system architecture. Okay, let me know if you can see the slides.
Yep.
Amazing.
You can see it.
So, okay, amazing. Thank you. So the system is designed with three main components that work together. So starting with the client layer, this is where our users interact with our application. We've got IndexedDB for temporary local storage of audio segments during the recording, which ensures reliable performance even during long sessions of a recording. And we've got the audio processor powered by Record RTC that handles all the audio capture and pre-processing. Now, the Forge app layer serves as our backend, providing secure execution within the Atlassian ecosystem. All client requests are handled through resolvers, which manage transcription, AI processing, Confluence API integration, and API key management. We also use an async queue system for handling long-running tasks like AI document generation, which prevents timeouts and ensures that the system is responsive. The API keys are additionally stored with Forge's secure storage mechanism, ensuring that they are never exposed. Finally, we've got the external services layer, which consists of the OpenAI API, which powers both our transcription through OpenAI's Whisper and document generation through the O3 mini model. And we've got Confluence Cloud, where we access spaces, templates, and ultimately store the generated documents. So all of these operates within the Atlassian's infrastructure, ensuring compliance with security standards and data residency requirements. So the data flow follows a clear path. So audio data is sent from the client to Forge's resolvers, which then communicates with external services for transcription and AI processing. And the resulting document is created in Confluence, and responses flow back to the client for user feedback. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and we welcome any questions.
Wow. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah. In one of the comments, it was said that a similar project has been done inside Atlassian's during our internal hackathon. So I guess great minds think alike. So we don't have any questions in the Q&A widget, but I believe your mentor has a question for you and your team, Sarah. So Lashani, are you still around?
Yeah, great work, Sarah and team. So could you a little bit explain that the queue, I think queues that you have been using, what type of processes, functionalities are handled through them, and why do you have to use them?
Yeah, great question. Okay, I think I'm lagging a little bit, so I'll stop sharing my screen. If that's okay. Okay, yeah, so yeah, as previously mentioned, we use an async queue system to handle long-running tasks. So why our lead developer decided to use this async queue system in the first place was because when we were trying to implement the templates feature, basically what we were doing was we had to fetch all the HTML content through an API call whenever like a user selects a template that they want to, whenever a user selects a template, we fetch the HTML content for that template, which for very complicated templates, all of the content will be very, very long. And eventually we'll have to chuck all of that plus the entire transcription into AI. And you can imagine that the prompt will be very, very long. So OpenAI will take forever to respond. And the issue was we had a lot of timeouts during testing, which is why we decided to use the async queue system just to avoid timeouts. Yeah.
Well done.
Well
done.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all the time we have today, everyone. Again, let's show our gratitude to our awesome presenters. So thank you very much for sharing your experience. It's amazing to see what you can build in just a little over 8 weeks. So also, thanks to all the attendees with us today. And as always, I hope you learned something of value. And that's it. Cheers. And do we have last minute questions? I think we're running over time. So I guess.
Just very quickly from the Atlassian classroom side, no worries. Yeah, I'm consistently blown away by the work that you guys do in Comp 3900 with the Forge platform. The mentors have done a fantastic job of showing you the ways, and you guys have just taken that and ran with it. So great job to everyone. Keep it up, and stay in touch, please.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Nick. And cheers. I'll see you, well, I hope see you on the next episode of the Forge Dev Den. Bye, everyone. Have a nice day.